Testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3, take 1. Welcome back to another video installment of eCIO, Features and Functionality. This video is on recording, tracking, and traceability of requirements using the eCIO product. Typically, what we see is that most requirements are done in Excel or .doc, word processing documents, etc. on that side of it. And eCIO helps us kind of record and provide some element of traceability for it. Sometimes it's just difficult for a BEA to track and track requirements, and that typically results in either missed or duplicate requirements being recorded on that side of it. So we're going to walk through this with you in terms of how we in fact have what we record as far as requirements, etc. on that side of it. So one of the first things to do is we've got a list of requirements that we've kind of either through interview sessions that we've identified. We want to just double check to see if some of those might be already in the system in other projects, other applications, etc. that we might be able to take advantage of it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a search, and maybe one of the requirements as an example here that we have used is a single sign-on. So we're going to see if there was anything out there on single sign-on, and lo and behold, we do have something out there on a single sign-on. So we're going to look at this one and use this one as a basis for us in what we can do in terms of tracking requirements. So we're going to bring up this particular requirement. This is our profile screen. We can see that there's a number of things identified on it. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail as we want to try to keep this video short. Story points, if people are using Agile, who the role was, if it ties into goals, etc. And you'll see a little bit later on in some of our listings how this kind of ties into it. Who the owner is, if it touches any other functions, who the requester was, and then if we happen to be doing requirements for a number of different organizations, we can tie those into it. So FTE estimates, etc. on that side of it. Narrative, standard, value statements, what the descriptions are, etc. on that one. There's some linkages. We want to do attachments to this one. If there's backgrounds, we can also do that. In terms of linkages, if we click on the ID, this will tell us some of the linkages that we have in place. Some of them that have been established currently is if this requirement is tied to any SOWs, any other goals and objectives that we want to link in, or the versus the prime that was on here. Knowledge base, meaning that if we've had some elements we've added into descriptions, definitions, etc. If we wanted to tie into that, we can show those standard cross-references, other projects. If there's other related requirements that this particular requirement is related to, then we can identify that. Tie our requirements to some of our scope, test specifications, and some of the use cases that might be applicable in this one. Here's a number of other areas that are under construction that we're going to tie in at some future date. Applications, some of the action items that might be related, the approvals, cash flow, if there's anything on that side of estimates in terms of time, level of effort, etc. on that side of it. Some of these we've tied to traceability, resources, risks, etc. and the like. The other reports, we'll kind of bring these up. Profile, etc. But just back to our profile. Just a couple of interesting points I think about some of the information that's presented here. Categories, if we want to say what are the categories, and we pre-populated that with a table. Benefits, business requirements, constraints, data definitions. These are some of the categories. Through it, you can feel free to add more if you feel that this is not all-encompassing. And then if there's a type, and we'll bring up this table, access, architecture, backup recovery, concurrency, constraint. So a little bit about some of the types that are service levels, state, stress, supportability, etc., usability. So these are a little bit more on the requirement types. If there was an authority that we wanted to that knows a little bit about what these various types are, we can identify those levels of authority. So that is our profile. What we're going to try to do is now we'll bring up just some of the reports that you may find of use. One of them is obviously requirements profile. So we're going to use this one. It's just a standard listing which you can pull out. So we're going to say single sign-on. This is our report generator, which most of you are familiar with. So this is a requirement. So this is just, again, just some of our profile information that we have regarding that requirement. And this list will be, this particular report will be augmented with some of the other components that will help out on their traceability matrix that is forthcoming. And we can send this out, email the report out to the number of constituents out through that may be interested in this requirement, kind of confirming some of the elements to it, etc. on that side of it. The other aspect of it, I think it is probably important, is requirements catalog. This catalog, I'm going to just leave this open. I'm going to do undefined, go across all corporations, but there are similar approaches both from a project perspective, program, application, etc. So the same philosophy applies to that one. So this is just going across all the corporations. I'll show you some stuff. So in more of the newer formats now, it's in the role of. This is kind of the syntax I need, requirement name, and what the purpose of, and then who stated it. So for those that are a little bit more familiar with, I think, some of the agile approaches, this will be a little bit more familiar with it. So for us, in the role network engineer, I need single sign-on. This ties into our single sign-on. For the purpose of security measures assessment as stated by yours truly. And so that is the requirements catalog going across the corporation. On it, the same philosophy applies to projects and like within it. And it gives us a capability then to from either the ownership or the roles to break down the requirements and say, okay, these are requirements that you need, or for a function within the organization. Are these in fact what for you to accomplishment? Are these the requirements that you need? And we can have established. Are they active? Are they been in place? We can also see that they're tied to. I'll just get rid of this screen. Tied to releases, when it was implemented, etc. on that side. And that concludes today's video on requirements. If you need more information on this one, feel free to email us at support@ecisolutions.com, or go to our website, which is www.eCIOsolutions.com, and we'll attempt to answer your questions. Remember, an evaluation copy is available upon request. We'll look at for those that are interested in maybe obtaining a copy of this. We're expecting the retail price is approximately $40. Kind of, we wanted to keep it to the price of a textbook, and that includes the software as well as access to kind of the knowledge base that we're trying to set up, which provides examples of how in fact each of these work, etc., for using the eCIO product, as well as kind of the updates over the year for. Thank you for listening to this presentation, and I look forward to your comments and questions.